You're listening to Rise to Your Purpose, a personal and spiritual development podcast for female entrepreneurs with a mission.
We're your hosts, Brandie and Natalie. Rise to Your Purpose will be a weekly podcast. Our hope is to inspire and educate you on your entrepreneurial journey to help you fuel your passions, live your purpose, and build a business that works for you.
You can subscribe, rate, and comment on any podcast app. We'd love to hear from you. It makes us so happy to see you tuning in to the show. So if you're on Instagram, let us know what your favorite part of the show was by taking a screenshot of the episode you tuned into and tag us at Live Victorious on your story. Let us know what your favorite quote or takeaway from the episode was so that we can be inspired to keep creating content like this for you.
To learn more about us and get involved with our community of mission-driven entrepreneurs, join our Facebook group, Purpose Partners, where we partner together in faith and business. So until next time, build a business that works for you and stay in alignment with your mission. All right. Hey, everyone. I'm so glad that you are back here and joining us for another episode of Rise to Your Purpose. And today I am here with my friend Erin, and Erin Klein is going to be talking with you guys today a little bit more about just her journey in network marketing. And we had a chance to connect over the phone, and I just really loved hearing her story and hearing her heart. And she is also another woman on fire for God and just really building in her faith and business as well. But definitely she is really someone who's also, following her passions, and she's in business with her husband. And so I'm just really excited for you guys to hear more of her. She also has a podcast as well as a co-host. And so I'm going to have her kind of introduce herself a little bit more. And we're going to jump in today to just talking about all things of like growing your business and how you can stay in alignment. So stay tuned. I'm really excited. So Erin, thanks for being on with me.
Thanks for having me. I'm pumped.
Yes, it's going to be so good. So love your energy. I know everyone else will too. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about who you are, where you're from, and kind of if you want to share about like I know what you and your husband are doing right now.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of dive into a little bit too with like your network marketing.
Sure. So I actually live in Columbus, Ohio with my husband. We've been married just over 3 years now. We have a little boy, Connor, who's just born in April, COVID baby. So that's a whole experience in itself to talk about needing God more than ever during these times. But it was good. So I started down my entrepreneurial journey at, it makes me sound old to say. So nobody do the math in your head. Don't pretend math doesn't exist. But 14 years ago, I was just finishing up my junior year of college. That was the first time I was ever introduced to network marketing. And that's just kind of where my journey started. I mean, obviously over 14 years, there's been a lot of crazy times, a lot of good times, a lot of growth, a lot of that was dumb moments, and a lot of that was brilliant moments. But they all come together all the way it's supposed to be. So, so I have, obviously we can get into the path I had taken, but I know for me, the biggest thing that I love about my business and the freedom was I love sports. I'm big into sports. My husband coaches football and I coach basketball. And I just really wanted the time freedom to be able to like do something I was passionate about and like have an influence on younger children. I don't want to say children because some are like high school, but like that age group, I guess, where they're really the most, I don't want to say vulnerable, but impressionable, I guess, and just to kind of be that person that can just guide and help. I mean, those are crazy years, your teenage years. I know my coaches were very influential on me, and same for my husband. So that was kind of something we both had in common when we met, was our passion for that. So that's kind of what led us to wanting time freedom, hence network marketing.
I love that you said that, because that's been a big passion for me. I think even starting network marketing is when I realized like, wow, this is a way for you to be able to, it's a vehicle. And I think that's sometimes either people who aren't in it yet, it's because they don't realize that it could be the vehicle, or even some like can lose sight of, no, like I have other passions that I love and want to do. And so letting this be a way that you can dive into those other things that you love. And so
Yeah.
in creating that freedom. And so I'd love to talk about this because we kind of connected too of when we were chatting on the phone of just how your network marketing business, like you knew it was meant to serve like a purpose in your life in a season. And you've been able to build it to bring more time freedom and financial freedom into your life. So I'd love for you to kind of share a little bit about that journey of like getting started and what did that look like for you? What did that take for you to be able to build so that you could have kind of just live life on your terms right now? You get to be a mom and not have to be in the hustle and grind. Where did you feel like there was a season for kind of working diligently day in, what did that kind of look like? I'd love to.
So being a mom is a big hustle and grind. I learned that recently. Holy crow. I feel like that's harder. I feel like if you have been a mom, you can build a network marketing business. Just being a mom harder. So, but no, cause I guess I kind of have like two different stories, I guess, because when I started the network marketing company, that I started with doesn't exist anymore. It was bought out, whatever. Just merged somewhere else. And I guess those building those two different businesses had two different ways that I built. So I like to compare and contrast those because obviously in the first 6 years in that first company, I learned a lot of what works. And more importantly, I learned a whole lot of what doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And so when I first started building, it was the typical like old school, like we had an office, you wore a suit every day and you did like 3 presentations every day. It was very like corporate-y looking, which was weird because you're saying people want to leave corporate-y, but then you're just recreating corporate-y. Yeah. But that was the first experience. And we had like offices all throughout like the Midwest, and I would move from all these places trying to build. And like, so like, that's not the right way to do it. I say that just to express the point that I was all in. Like I was moving away from my family. I was living in my car. I was doing everything I could possibly do in that 6 years to try and get rich. That was it. I wanted to get rich. And if you would have asked me, that's all I wanted. I thought I was just around the wrong kind of influence, I guess, in thinking like I was learning about network marketing. I was learning about business. I was learning about personal growth, but almost to a point where it made me kind of cocky, where I was like, ew, who the hell wants a job? Like you suck if you want a job, But I think that also goes with like maturity. I was young and I was like learning all these things, whatever. Just so that's first 6 years, I learned a ton about selling and recruiting and all that good stuff that were good traits and good things to learn. But I also learned how obnoxious people can be that are building, which makes it look awful for the rest of the people. So I apologize because I was that person for a few years. And I learned a lot about myself, what I was willing to do and how hard I was willing to work. But I had zero alignment with what I was like I said, my main goal was just get rich. I never took the time to actually think about why I wanted to get rich, what I wanted to do, what that would allow for me. So fast forward, all this crazy stuff happens, and I find myself looking at different companies and ended up finding one that aligned with my core values, things I wanted to do, things that were fun. I'm a big believer in network marketing that you have to do something that you would do or buy whether or not you make money. I learned that the hard way because my first company, no, I mean, it was nutrition, but it was like, and I believe in it. I really do. I believe that our food today sucks and you need to supplement. Like I really believe in it, but it wasn't like a burning passion, So I found something that I really enjoy doing that with or without a network marketing company, I would enjoy. So, tangent, but that's important.
Yes, that's important.
But I will say too, the people that I was learning from. So just real quick story. When I started with this company, like I said, like I'm a mover shaker. Like I was ready to put in the work and put in the numbers and let's do this. And one of the top earners of that company was coming out to Ohio to help us. And I remember thinking in my head, like, I'm so excited because I can't wait to talk to him about money, getting rich, all this stuff he does, right? And so we like did presentations all day. And then we were going up to my buddy's house and for like some leadership stuff. There's just 6 of us. And I remember driving to my friend's house with this huge smile on my face the whole way, because I'm like, this is it. I'm going to have my breakthrough moment on how to get rich talking to this guy, right? I couldn't wait. I'm getting there. And I'm like, small talk, like everyone grabbing a drink, and we're going to sit down. And the whole time I'm like, yeah, give me a drink. Let's sit down. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
I want to hear all this stuff. For the next 2 hours, all this man talked about was the gospel. Not even kidding. And that was just a wake-up call for me, because that was the moment that I realized I wanted to follow him for the right reasons, and that he was using this vehicle that he had as a way for people to bring people to Christ. And so he just had a bigger purpose, and that's why I realized he was doing so well, is he had this bigger ultimate purpose that was feeding his drive. And that was like one of the biggest, I would say, moments in my network marketing career, is like that moment, that aha moment of, there's got to be something bigger. I'm just here and I want to get rich. Well, who the hell benefits if I get rich?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. I'm not serving anybody. I'm selfish, and I didn't realize I was being selfish. I had no idea. Like, I didn't even realize that I was until hearing him talk and like spending that time that he has. I think about how many people like are in network marketing companies, have a fast growing team, right? They fly out to a new market where you have people that are crushing it. Yeah. And instead of taking that time to talk about business with them, you decided that was more important. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was big for me. I knew from that day, like, I'm a lifer. I'm going to be wherever this guy is, I'm going to be,
Yeah. I love that. A few things that really stood out to me that you said, and I think really aligns with our mission here with Purpose Partners and Victorious Entrepreneurs Rising that we try and share. And so I love that you were saying this, was core values, like finding a company or finding, whatever getting an alignment, right? And so in aligning those things with your core values, and then who are you learning from and who are you surrounding yourself with? I think that is huge. And so hearing like that, how much of an impact this man had on you, and then also how he had found his bigger purpose, is like, that is really important, I think, within your business, because otherwise it's going to be really hard to be like discouraged, to want to give up, is if you don't know like what's the bigger purpose for the reason of you having your business and being your business beside, right? Like, not just being attached to that love of money, like think of what's the overall reason for having it, and how can you be of service to others through it. So, and letting that fuel you and feed your drive. I love that you said that. So I think that's such a great lesson.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. And it took me a while to find that too, because like I said, I started at 20,
Yeah. And that's,
I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah. That's like those are like formative years, I feel like, too. Like, I'd be 31 this year. I feel like I learned a lot in my 20s for sure. So, and this is definitely like, I think there's a growing stage and there's a season for everything. And so how did then you find yourself? It sounds like God probably played a big role too. Like, he spoke to you through this man. And so how did you see God start to move like in your life and in your business during that time and as you were building?
So I don't want to say that once I start, because again, it wasn't instant, that was just my aha awareness moment. And then it took time to figure out, going through the motion and figure out and like do a lot of, like I said, always like personal development, a ton of like digging into myself and figuring myself out, which we never do. We still do every single day. Right. Learn new things about ourselves. But so that was a process, I guess. But I would say that once I was more like fully grounded in purpose, I never want to say that my business seemed to grow effortlessly, because I think that gives people the wrong impression. Like, oh, I'm just going to be aligned and it's just going to happen. Like, that's not how it worked, but it seemed more effortless because I knew where I was going and why I was going, and people were buying into that. And helping, not just buying into what I wanted to do, but creating their own and creating their own purpose and what they wanted to do. And then I had just learned how to, like, being a leader in network marketing, how to foster that within other people, like helping them do what they're doing, why they want to do it, not why I want to, you know, and like helping them figure that out for themselves and grow on their own, and everything, so it's like, and again, it's hard because it took me a while to like, and I still do struggle. I mean, you got to figure it out, because in network marketing, it's crazy because we're taught in sales, right? It's like some will, some won't, who cares, keep going. No, 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 no. You're closer to a yes, like have zero emotional attachment to the answer. And we know that, but then at the same time, network marketing is also all about relationships and people. So it's like, you got to learn when to turn that on and when to turn that off and go by that. And that's a learning curve, I think, in the business, because yeah, you don't want to be emotionally attached to an answer and just go, but at the same time, you want to help people and grow people. So you got to have those conversations, I guess, too, sometimes. And again, I think too, people just, when people see you, it's not even necessarily just about the money, but when people see like you enjoying life and having fulfillment and just being happy, because I definitely hit a point where I went through a phase where I was build 24/7, no time for anything else. There's no looking left, no looking right. And then I reached a point where I wasn't going as hard, but my business was still growing because I was happy and fulfilled. And that's what attracted people. Mm-hmm. People sometimes weren't attracted to the grind. They see you grinding all the time and they're like, well, I don't want to do that, you know? But when they see, wow, like that happiness, that fulfillment, she really doesn't need me. She's good. Like people are attracted to wanting to be around and figure out how that happened.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's weird how it works.
So many good nuggets. And I always like to kind of recap like what I hear that kind of stood out to me too, that I think in case anybody missed it, but also what you said about knowing where you're going and why, like, and I think we talk a lot, I mean, a lot of companies and things, they'll say, know your why and all that. Yeah. And sometimes I think too, though your why doesn't necessarily have to be like the groceries or the things like that, but just kind of thinking like even a little bit bigger, but even sometimes I know one of my mentors said, think about work for a reason why that you might not even have yet. And so like for you right now, like now you have your son during COVID and, you know, maybe didn't have that planned before, but like now how amazing because you chose to be diligent in your business, but also I love how you shifted that in your business too. It sounds like that you went from kind of trying to do the hustle and grind, which I think everybody kind of hits that phase at one point, but then you realize like, I can work this in a different way, still have success. And like, I love that you were talking about being fulfilled in that. And then just sharing that journey, part of your journey too, with others, letting others see that, highlight that. And then I love too, that you said, as you worked with your team, that you were also fostering that fulfillment or fostering like the belief in them and that leadership in them so that they could build a business that they love. And I think that's what's really important. That's what makes a great leader. So I can tell you're a great leader because we have to help develop other leaders and then what's in it for them. And when you're talking with prospects, and I don't know if you agree, the big shift for me too was going from, I can tell like from the beginning when you're first starting out and you're learning, like it almost all your messages sound like it's about you, right? And then it's shifting to wait, no, let me learn about you. Let me ask you questions. Let me know what you need. And then if I have something to offer you, I want to share that with you. And so I think that's like a big shift that people can make that will help them also with building their business and attracting the right people as well.
Right. There's so much value in just being genuine and real too. Because I know you on social media, you probably get the same messages I get sometimes where you want to be like, please, I know what you're doing and I appreciate that, but please let me help you do it correctly. But no, it's good. And and just like you said, like finding that fulfillment, finding those things, it's and I can be a good leader because I have a good leader too. Like my enroller, like he knows from the very beginning. I told him from day one of the very biggest reasons why I ever started network marketing was I want to coach basketball. So it was like, and I know you don't get rich or pay the bills coaching basketball, right? So I was like, I want to coach basketball because I love it and I have a passion for it and I don't have to stress out about the money for it. Like, don't pay me, obviously. 30-second tangent story, I will say that I did say that as my first goal. Like, I want to make money, or I want to be able to coach and not get paid because I just love to do it, right? Well, manifestation, like years later, I found myself volunteering basketball coaching. And I was like, holy shit, I got exactly what I asked for. Now that I know I love it, I would love to find a way to make money doing what I love. So, which then eventually happened. But so be careful how you word what you say because it does happen exactly.
That's true.
I was like, dang, I manifested that. But I did, but like, so he knew that about me going in. I was like, I will work hard. I will work my face off. I'm all about this, but I am like, so even anyone listening now, like I am not the top level rank in my company, and I'm not, and I wouldn't say I don't ever have a goal to ever hit that, but I had hit what I wanted in the sense of all the other things that I wanted to do. I use my network marketing business to be able to fund things so that I can do the other things. So giving us the free time to go like coach basketball. My husband had written like a little booklet because he's the like, I don't want to say the most on fire man for Christ because there's so many that are, but he's one of them for sure. And like so he has like a Christian athletic brand, and like because he's all about just helping the same thing, like helping people find their purpose and their passion and fulfill it and everything. We'd live in a much better world if people actually knew it, but nobody thinks about. Right. And that's another reason, gosh, there's so many tangents coming to my head right now. Help me stay focused. But that's another reason why I love network marketing is because it gives people a chance to actually do what they are passionate about instead of like, okay, I'm going into school. I don't know what the hell I want to do. I'm going to pick a major. Then I pick a major and then I want to take the first job that comes along because my school loans are coming up. I don't even know if I love this job, but I got to take it because school loans are going to kick in. And then it just gets comfortable and it pays the bills. And so people aren't ever like, living out their purpose and their passion and what they love to do, where I feel like sometimes a network marketing business is a great option for you to pay your bills, do whatever, and then obviously grow that, right. Which I will say too, now if people that are listening, because I think like some people have that thought where it's like, when you're building your business, you got to stay focused on it. It takes a focus. It takes a time commitment. It does take all of that. And you need to figure out what that number is for you, not your enroller, not your sponsor, not anybody. You decide what that number is for you. And then once that plate's spinning, like I worked my job for another year and I was making twice as much as my job that I was, or at my business than I was at my job, but I know it's business and I wanted to make sure it was sustained. So I kept doing it, right? Then as plate spinning, then I quit my job, then I keep growing my business, right? And then as that goes, then I start adding in other sources of income, other businesses I want to try, that if they fail, it's okay because this is still going over here. I think sometimes people take their foot off the gas too quickly sometimes, or they make a bunch of money in a company in 6 months, and that's great. That's amazing. But that's 6 months of business. You don't know what's going to happen the next 6 months. So let's not make any wild decisions with your first 6 months earnings. And again, I think that falls on leadership as well. We have to be willing to tell people that and talk to them and be smart with their money.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think those are really good tips for sure. And
600 tangents I just had.
No, but they're so good. Like I think everybody just got so much out of that for sure and I think that is wise. I love that you're saying like kind of taking that pressure off of not everybody is wanting to hit the top rank. Like, and there is sometimes I think that feeling of pressure that you need to, or you're not worth anything. And that is not true at all. And so I love that you shared that, but also I think realizing too, like finding what is that freedom number for you, like you need to find the freedom number for you so that you have a clear path for where you're going and why you're going there. And then what's it going to do for you there? Like, do you want, like for us, it was like, I wanted to retire my husband so that he could start his dream, like of his film company. Yeah. I wanted to travel more. Like I wanted to quit my other side jobs I was doing with teaching. So what is it that you want and need to do? And then keep that focus. And then once you're kind of there, I love that you said, start bringing in other sources of income if you want, or other passions that you have. And so I think that's really great advice.
I think it's really important too, because I was so hard in building that, like, I don't know about you and your presentations, but we were always like, you need more than one stream of income, right? But there I was only having one stream of income, my network marketing business. So I was like, I'm learning so many skills and values from network marketing. So how can I take what I've learned and then create something else or whatever? Yeah. So I think that's important, but like the timing and not like making yourself so thin. I can't think of the word, but like spreading yourself out. Yeah,
exactly. Because you do want to have, like you said, you want to kind of have where you've built up that residual income, things that like you said, you still need to pay the bills or whatever the reason was for you having your network marketing business. You still want to make sure it's doing that for you. Yeah. And then you can, definitely start taking and transferring those skills and that knowledge that you have and those gifts that you have, and see what else maybe God has in store for you through that. And it may just be to continue to build and pour into the women that are on your team and what you've grown. So it's going to look different for everybody, but I think it's super important to dive into what that looks like, pray over that and see, but be open to what God has for you, because I often find that he will take us on a different journey than we expected for ourselves and open it.
God has a great sense of humor, so must we.
Definitely.
So, it
Well,
is crazy.
I'm so glad we got to talk and hear more from you. And I would love for you to share too, because I know you have a podcast. So would you share with us a little bit about your podcast that you have with your friend, and then how, if they'd like to get in touch with you or just connect or just kind of follow you, where they can do that at?
Yep. So, so our podcast, a friend Rachel and I, we co-host a podcast called the Confident Woman Podcast. And it is all about just being real and raw and transparent and owning yourself, because none of us are perfect at all, period. But we all have value to share, and we all come from so many different things. So I know when we started our podcast, we wanted to share just real, true stories and highlight other women that are doing amazing things. So check that out. And then my Instagram is super simple. Like, it's just Erin_travels for life, because that's what I wanted to do. That's why I built the way I built, and ended up, fun fact too, meeting my husband in Hawaii. So if you're single and in network marketing and you're like, I'm going to be single forever, build my business, go to Hawaii. Maybe you'll meet someone, start traveling.
I love that. That's so cute. All right. Well, thank you so much. Definitely go check her out. We'll put all that information in the show notes. And then anything else that you would love to leave our listeners with that you can think of?
Natalie, I could talk for 6 hours. So I probably better not start, because I want to respect your time. I don't know how long I'd go.
Okay.
I would definitely just say, if I had to leave one little thing, it would just be find out what it is for you, not for anybody else. Don't impress anybody else with your goal. It's your goal. And then go for it.
Yeah.
Do it. Find support. You obviously, everyone listening knows you, and you seem like you're doing great at what you do and inspiring a ton of people. So thank you for doing that, Natalie.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you guys on our next episode of Rise to Your Purpose.